news just coming out here at the racetrack tonight during opening ceremonies. Rusty Marcus, general manager, announced that Saturday's racing program, night number 9, has been canceled. The Orange Blossom 100 that was scheduled for Saturday night has been moved to tomorrow night as part of tomorrow night's program. Tomorrow night's the super late models were scheduled to run 35 laps. They'll now run 100 laps tomorrow night. And the reason is a 90% chance of rain on Saturday afternoon, a 90% chance of rain Saturday night. It's going to be very wet, it looks like, here at New Smyrna Beach, Florida on Saturday. So the track decided, hey, we want to get that 100 lapper in. The Orange Blossom means a lot. Let's do it tomorrow night when we have a chance. There's 4 divisions tomorrow night. Florida Modifieds was the only long distance affair. They have time to do it tomorrow night, not Friday night. Friday night's going to be a busy night with the Heart to Heart 100 for the pro late models and the 100 lapper for the Richie Evans Memorial. So they do the Orange Blossom for the super late models tomorrow night. Saturday's race program has been canceled, and that will allow people to kind of adjust their travel plans or maybe spend an extra day down here before they go back and relax on Saturday.
So to be clear, they haven't canceled Saturday, just the racing program.
Yeah, correct. Saturday still will happen in general. There will still be a Saturday, but there will not be racing at New Smyrna Speedway on Saturday.
You got me on that one earlier.
Yeah, well, I didn't want there to be any confusion.
No confusion.
We have the 2-to-go signal given. The pro late models are on track, a 35-lap feature, which features Hayden Mowry and Katie Hedinger in row 1, Isabella Robusto in row 2, along with Nicholas Noggle. Row number 3 has Hunter Wright in the 29, Jason Vale in the 407, making his 58th running of the World Series debut tonight. Jimmy Renfrew Jr. in the 00 starting 7th, and Dawson Sutton in the 26. Top qualifier tonight, looking for his 4th win in a row in the pros, starting 8th.
Tony Breidinger has had a good week here so far. She's going to roll off 9th tonight alongside Kevin Macy in the number 61. Billy Braun and Corey Luciano will go back in row number 6. Tim Sozio and Brody Monahan. That young man has been very fast throughout the course of this week. He will start 14th tonight. Mike Scorzelli alongside Ryan Phipps back in row 8.
Row number 9. On the inside is Kevin Folan in the 17F. Tommy Sorum in the 29S starts outside. Caution lights are still on. The pace car will stay out on the raceway for at least another lap. From Greece, it's Thomas Kersonis in the 93K in the Costumer car. And on the outside, it is the Christian Rose number 15R.
Ray Minieri will start 21st tonight alongside Brandon Lopez in the number 6. Glenn Stiers in the number 23 will start 23rd in the number 0, and Mike Mayberry will go 24th tonight in the number 45.
Ryan Luza in the 08, an engine change today. He's 4th place, and the standings coming in. Has a long way to race through the field. 17 of Chuck Tuck starting on the outside. Then it's Anthony Bello in the 25 and the 54 of Kenneth Canales.
Rounding out the field, slated to be Dalton Smith in the number 24. 29 cars lined up ready to go. A very quick 35 laps. Pro late models have been very competitive throughout the course of this week. Keep an eye on the 29 of Hunter Wright and your quick qualifier Dawson Sutton in the 26. Field picking up the pace. We are green off of turn 4.
A little sideways was pole sitter Hayden Mowry in the 55, and that allows the outside pole sitter to go into the number 1 spot. 3 wide for about the 4th position. They single down now to 2 wide. Dropping back a little bit is the 28 of Robusto, who started on the inside of row number 2. Didn't get the opening start that she would have liked. She's had a fast race car all week.
Isabella was stuck 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. She did not like that one bit. She checked up and bailed out of that situation, but she has proven throughout the week that car is very fast. We'll keep an eye on her as she tries to work her way back up to the front of the field. First battle on the racetrack going to be for 3rd. Hunter Wright feeling all kinds of pressure from Jimmy Renfrew as they race off into turn 1.
2 laps down in the early stages. Katie Hedinger looking to win her first of 2024 after claiming a win at the World Series in pro late model action 1 year ago. She leads the way in the 71. Battle for 2nd place on the racetrack. Hayden Mowry has it. Hunter Wright on his way to the front.
Hunter Wright has been very fast this week. He was, what, a quarter of a lap from victory on night number 2 here earlier in the week, and he got a last corner shove from Dawson Sutton that relegated him to 2nd. He hasn't been able to get up back to the front and challenge for a win. Could tonight be the night? Right now, Hunter Wright looking very fast in the number 29.
Hunter Wright, a strong week so far for the number 29 car. Finishes of third, second, and third, as Hunter Wright, third place in the standings, but it's a tight one for the Pro Late models. Second and third there. Hunter Wright and the 00 of Renfrew both on their way to the front. Also on their way to the front, Dawson Sutton in the 26, the point leader in 3 feature wins this week, from 8th so far up to 4th.
Katie Ettinger continuing to hold about a 10-car length advantage over the battle for second between Hunter Wright and Jimmy Renfrew. Dawson Sutton closing in. Had a chance to chat with Katie Ettinger and her dad Chris last night prior to the ASA Stars 200 lapper. They got a big season tabbed for 2024. Keep an eye on Katie Ettinger throughout the course of this season. She's going to be making starts across various different racing series. This young woman, very talented young lady, the first woman to the first female driver to win a race in the Pro Late Model division here at the World Series with her victory here last year.
7 laps into the books make it 8 at the line for Ettinger, leading the way with Hunter Wright, Jimmy Renfrew Jr., Dawson Sutton, and Nicholas Noggle completing the top 5. We saw Noggle was under fire from Isabella Robusto, who's trying to rally back through the field, but now Noggle has put a little ground. There's the top 3 as they race through turns 3 and 4. Second place about to be up for grabs. Here comes Renfrew in the 00.
Jimmy Renfrew has been very fast all week long in the 00. Do they get together over there in turns 1 and 2? Close quarters racing. That's going to allow Dawson Sutton to join the party in turn 3.
Definite contact in turn 2, and closing the door was Renfrew. Close call coming off of 4 as well. Hunter Wright trying to regroup, but here comes Dawson Sutton. Hunter Wright and Sutton get together in turn number 2 as well. A little bit of a pinball right now is Hunter Wright.
Hunter Wright facing it from all directions over there in turns 1 and 2, as he has Dawson Sutton filling up the rear view mirror down the front stretch. Let's see if Renfrew is able to close that gap on Katie Ettinger. He has closed what was about a 10-car length lead down to about 5 as we start to encounter some lap traffic. Katie Ettinger going to work to the outside of the 24 car of Dalton Smith, and that allows Renfrew to close in even closer.
Top 2 nose to tail, third and fourth nose to tail. So as the 00 of Renfrew closes on the leader, so are third and fourth Hunter Wright, Dawson Sutton. In a lap or 2, we may have a 4-car battle for the lead. It's third and fourth that we're watching right now, and Hunter Wright and Dawson Sutton 13 laps down and 22 laps to go for the lead. The top 4 making their way down the back straightaway. This for the Pro Late models will continue to be a battle for the championship, I think, all the way to Friday night when they run that heart-to-heart 100.
Katie Ettinger had a 3rd place finish earlier in the week. Go by the wayside in the tech barn. She was 0.05% too heavy on the left side, and right now she is facing some pressure to her left side. Jimmy Renfrew looking to the inside down into turn 1. Renfrew with the nose ahead. Ettinger fighting hard to the outside, but Renfrew gonna have the preferred line down into turn 3, and here comes Hunter Wright and Dawson Sutton.
There it is, the 4-car battle for the race lead. Renfrew has taken it away. Renfrew crosses the line, new leader, lap 16. It is Jimmy Renfrew Jr. The battle now for second. Hunter Wright looking for his first win of the week, but his finishes of third, second, and third have kept him up there in the battle for the championship this week. Dawson Sutton, so impressive. 3 wins in a row for that Pro Late model number 26. Follows the duo running 4th.
Hunter Wright working to the inside of Katie Ettinger. Ettinger really hanging tough in that outside lane, but she's going to give that spot up to Hunter Wright there in 3 and 4. Here comes Dawson Sutton to the inside. The question is, Adam, does Hunter Wright have enough time and enough race car to reel in Jimmy Renfrew? Remember, Renfrew passed Hunter Wright about 12 laps ago and has now opened up about a 10-car length lead as we continue to encounter some lap traffic through turns 3 and 4.
Able to get around the slower traffic, the 00 of Renfrew. It was the 54 car moving over to the bottom of the racetrack. There will be more ahead for Renfrew. 2 more moving over to the bottom on the back straightaway. So far, Renfrew having no issues, able to keep that several car length advantage on Hunter Wright. Hunter Wright's issue is going to be the fact that Dawson Sutton wants to get by him so he can go after the leader.
Looks like Dawson's car is pretty quick, but indeed he's going to have to work his way past Hunter Wright if he has any hope of tracking Jimmy Renfrew down with 15, now make it 14 laps to go this time around.
First of 5 features tonight on night 6 of now 8 since Saturday has been scratched, with the Orange Blossom 100 moving up to tomorrow night here at the World Series. A lot of good racing action on tap. The final feature of the night this evening will be the Tour Type Modifieds and the John Blewett III Memorial 76 lap feature event, which should be a real good one as we continue to watch the battle for the number 2 spot. They've fallen back a little bit from Renfrew, so you know Sutton needs to go, he wants to go, and he might get a little more aggressive. He puts a nose right up against the 29 of Hunter Wright, looks to the inside on the front stretch, goes to the inside through 1 and 2, side by side, wheel to wheel for second.
Great battle between 2 cars that have gone nose to tail and door to door all week long. Dawson Sutton to the inside, Hunter Wright in that outside lane. Wright not wanting to give it up. He's going to nose ahead here at start finish. These two have been going at it, it seems like, each and every night. And again, they're going to come together in turn 2.
Racing for real estate, and as they make the contact, Renfrew loves it. He's pulling away at the front of the field. These 3 drivers are also the 3 racing in the top 3 spots for the championship. It is a tight battle, nearly a 3-way tie up front, depending on how they finish at the end of this event. And Sutton now falling back into the grasp of Katie Hettinger in the 71.
Looks like Hettinger may have given a little nudge to Dawson Sutton there in turn 2. That's going to cost them about 3 car lengths to Hunter Wright. Hettinger's car coming back to life here in the late stages.
Pretty good racing action over the first 26 laps of this one. 27 will go on the board. If you look at Renfrew, Charlie, he's going to be in extremely heavy traffic. 5 cars lined up in front of him, and some of them are racing side by side. This could help Hunter Wright, Dawson Sutton close that gap.
And this is when these races all week long have gotten very interesting. Leaders working through lap traffic have changed the complexion and the outcome here a couple of nights already this week. Let's see what happens as Jimmy Renfrew closes on a pack of about 5 slower cars directly in front of him down the backstretch. Renfrew still has about 2/3 of a straightaway in hand over Hunter Wright in second.
Down to the final 7 paces as Renfrew leads the way. Hunter Wright, Dawson Sutton, Katie Hettinger, Nicholas Noggle, the top 5. Next feature that will be on track at the conclusion of the Pro Late Model race, the Florida Modifieds, and a 35-lap event. This one clean and green so far. Down to the final 5. Renfrew in the 00 gets the 5 to go signal as he crosses the line 30 laps down.
Been a great week for the Pro Late Model division. Clean races all week long. And right now, Jimmy Renfrew looking for his 2nd win of the week. It's got 1.9 seconds over Hunter Wright in second. Hunter's had a pretty solid week. He hasn't been able to find the keys to victory lane, but he has had a very strong race car. And right now, he is able to keep Dawson Sutton in check as we come to 3 to go this time around. Jimmy Renfrew still navigating some heavy lap traffic.
Well, Dawson Sutton claimed 3 wins in a row, but for him to get in victory lane to keep that streak alive, he's going to need a yellow because we're down to 2 to go, and Hunter Wright and Dawson Sutton are back about a half straightaway from the leader, Jimmy Renfrew Jr. And guess what? Just as I mentioned it, the car's slow. A spin in turn number 4. First yellow flag of this event, and Jimmy Renfrew Jr. in the 00 says, you got to be kidding me. He had a dominant effort going on. When you're able to separate yourself from the 29 of Hunter Wright and the 26 of Dawson Sutton, you have a pretty good piece.
And I would argue that Jimmy Renfrew, Dawson Sutton, and Hunter Wright have had the 3 best race cars here all week long. Maybe not necessarily in that order given any particular one night, but Jimmy Renfrew has found the setup here tonight, the hot ticket underneath that 00 machine. But Hunter Wright, this is exactly what he and Dawson Sutton we're looking for.
So under yellow, 3 laps to go, 32 laps completed. Race leader Jimmy Renfrew Jr. will have a challenge from Hunter Wright and Dawson Sutton with only 3 laps to go. The 54 gets it turned around and gets rolling again. Florida Modifieds lining up on pit road, getting ready to go for the next race, that 35-lap event. Temperature's a little bit cooler. One of the coolest nights I believe we've had here at the World Series since we got here on Thursday for practice day last week.
Still shorts weather for you, Adam, but I've had my sweatshirt on all day today. It's a little chilly.
So there's the 00 of Renfrew leading the way around New Smyrna Speedway under yellow for a solo car spin. Get the rest of the field lined up. Renfrew coming into this event, when we talk about the point standings, now that we're down to the final couple nights for the Pro Late Models, we'll start talking about the points a little bit more. As the top 3 in this race, Renfrew, Wright, and Sutton are the main characters going for that championship. Weather looks beautiful for tomorrow as well as Friday here at the World Series. You gonna be all right, Charlie?
I think I'm gonna make it. I think I'm gonna make it. I was gonna say
that was a fly that came in here trying to stay warm.
I ate a bug. I'm little Mark Garrow. I love the guru Mark Garrow when he ate a bug on the air, almost. But what I was gonna say was, what a beautiful day. We even had a rocket launch earlier in the afternoon,
and we have another one coming up.
Another one tonight.
Late. 1:05 Eastern Time rocket launch from Kennedy Space Center. Dawson Sutton, 244 points coming into this event. Jimmy Renfrew Jr., 240. Hunter Wright, 238. That's how tight it is. 6 points difference, 2 points per position. As we take a look at the rest of the Night 6 track schedule for tonight. Florida Modified, 602 mods, Super Late models, and the Tour Type Modifieds. To round out our program, the field is doubled up at the choose cone on the front straightaway, and they'll see the one to go this time by.
So Jimmy Renfrew electing the outside lane, not a real surprise there. Hunter Wright will slide in underneath. Dawson Sutton and Katie Hettinger there in row 2. Keep an eye on Isabella Robusto. Hadn't been able to make up any ground throughout the first 33 laps of this race, but with 3 to go, she gets a good restart here. She could be a factor as we come to the checkered.
Caution lights have been turned off. And we will be coming back around to green. 3 laps left to decide it. Pro Late Model opener for our Wednesday night action at New Smyrna Speedway. The leader, Renfrew, chooses the outside lane. Hunter Wright to the inside. Dawson Sutton restarting from 3rd. Back up to speed in turn number 4. Back underway. 3 laps to go.
On the charge down into turns 1 and 2. Hunter Wright almost made a little contact there with Jimmy Renfrew, but Renfrew able to pull ahead. Here comes Katie Hettinger to the outside. She's going to try to stick it side by side for 2nd.
Hunter Wright actually checked up to avoid that contact in turn number 2 with Renfrew. We're down to 2 to go, and as they come across to the start-finish line, the field will start to slow because we have yellow on the racetrack, and it's a big hard hit for Tony Breidinger in the number 1, and what has been a very good week for the number 1 of Breidinger will come to a close now. She had multiple top 10 finishes, and whatever happened on the front stretch sent her hard into the inside retaining wall.
Been a great week for Tony Breidinger in that number 1 Lee Falk Racing team. Multiple top 10 finishes. And she showered the infield pit road with mud. Let's take a look at what happened, Adam, coming off of turn 4.
Coming off that fourth corner, got some contact, got some help from behind, and look at all that mud and sod that was sent onto pit road.
Tony has climbed out of the race car, so it'll be an early end of the night tonight. But I'll tell you what, as hard as that hit was, and it was a very solid hit with the left rear, had she hit with the nose and the left front suspension of that race car, I think it could have done a lot more damage than it did. But a tough night for Tony Breidinger. We will see her in action later on in the week in the ARCA Menard Series ARCA Daytona 200 coming up, hopefully coming up on Saturday if Mother Nature decides she would like to cooperate with us on that. But a big season ahead for Tony Breidinger. She's going to chase after the full ARCA Menard Series championship, run some truck races as well. So a big year ahead for this young lady as we take another look at what happened. Oh, she's going to climb back in. Take another look at what happened to her coming off of turn 4.
She was running up inside the top 10. In fact, just outside of the top 5. She got sideways and checked up. And when she did, to avoid contact with the car on the outside, she got hit from the car behind. I am shocked at how that car doesn't even look like it hit anything when you look at it right here. But it took a hard hit from the left side, but it was perfectly lined up. May not be quite as much damage as what they first expected. Looks like it's still going to go off maybe on a wrecker, but she's climbed back in, and the tow truck has moved out of the way. But that was a huge hit. And it, again, was a result of a restart, coming back around to complete that first lap after the restart. Car on the outside didn't want to make contact. She checks up a little bit, gets a little free, and nowhere to go for the car behind her. And again, she's had a good week. This has been the best World Series that Tony Breidinger has had. In fact, last 3 finishes in the top 10s with 10th, 10th, and 7th.
And you know, Adam, I had the opportunity to play in a golf scramble with many of the NASCAR regional track operators today, and I think I had some divots that were even bigger than those chunks of sod she sent flying over the pit wall there. But
literally just drove the car away from after that hit.
That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. So Tony Breidinger, I think she's going to get back in it here, see if she can make up some spots from the tail with just a couple of laps remaining.
Dawson Sutton coming off of 3 straight World Series wins, currently running in the 4th position. Lost a position on that last restart. Going for 4, if you look at this, Charlie, the drivers that have gone for 4 included a very young Logan Ruffin back in 2008, finished 4th. Patrick LaPearl finished 22nd back in 2009. Drew Brannon, I believe an 08 car back then in 2012, finished 4th. Cole Anderson finished 1st when he was going for 4. Did that back in 2018. Dawson Sutton, where will he finish tonight? Right now was running 4th, but is going to line up to the inside. He's hoping that Renfrew doesn't get a great start. He can follow Hunter right out front and then battle it out for the win. There's only 2 to go, so we're setting up for a green-white checkered finish with 33 laps in.
2 laps remaining. Jason Caranci with the white flag here at start finish. We will go back racing for the final 2 laps next time around. Hunter Wright to the inside of our leader, Jimmy Renfrew, for this restart. Dawson Sutton and Katie Hettinger back in row 2. Nick Noggle. Nick has had a great week in both not only here in the pro late model, but in the super late model as well. Isabella Robusto alongside him back in row 3. Any one of those 6 drivers, based on what we have on this restart, I think any one of those drivers could end up down in victory lane. We'll see what happens here as E.J. Wilcoxon bringing the pace car down onto pit road. Adam, 2 to go. Green flag back up. Hunter Wright and Jimmy Renfrew on the charge down into 1.
Pretty good restart for the front row. Sutton did not have a good restart from 3rd. Hunter Wright sideways. Both of them up the bankings. Here comes Sutton. Maybe a 3-wide battle for the lead and the win in moments. Lap and a half to go. Coming to the white flag off of turn 4.
Hunter Wright and Jimmy Renfrew nose to nose, side to side off of turn 4. Renfrew with the lead by inches with the white flag in the air.
Renfrew trying to close the door at the bottom. That takes the momentum away from Hunter Wright. Wright will have one more chance in turn 3. It will have to be a bump and run if he does it. Breidinger follows in the 3rd spot. Racing to the double checkered for the 2nd time this week. Jimmy Renfrew Jr. victorious.
Hunter Wright will come across in 2nd. Katie Hettinger slipping past Dawson Sutton to come home in 3rd. Isabella Robusto rounding out the top 5, but a thrilling finish. And Jimmy Renfrew picking up his 2nd victory of the week.
Good racing for our point championship contenders for the World Series. Renfrew takes the win. Hunter Wright takes 2nd. And Dawson Sutton takes 4th. Hettinger finishes 3rd. And Isabella Robusto rallies to finish 5th in tonight's event. That was a good one. Just had the yellow with a couple laps to go there. That led into another yellow with 2 to go, and really didn't tear up a lot of equipment. Really good race again from the pro late model competitors tonight, and now they look forward to their big event on Friday night. They have a race scheduled for tomorrow night as well, normal distance affair, but then Friday night that heart-to-heart 100 to determine a champion and a winner of a 100-lap feature race. Florida Modifieds are coming up next, but Renfrew to celebrate victory, his 1st since Friday night. He also has finishes of 3rd, and 2nd to keep him in this championship hunt as we go toward the weekend. Pretty exciting stuff to get us started there, Charlie.
I'll tell you, the pro late models have put on an exciting show every night they have been on the racetrack, and Jimmy Renfrew has definitely had that car dialed in as he has climbed out. We'll send it down to Jacqueline Drake to hear from our winner in Victory Lane.
So we'll see if we can get a word from the winner, Renfrew, here in just a moment. Jacqueline Drake down there in Victory Lane, but not hearing. Jimmy Renfrew Jr. down in Victory Lane, celebrating the victory here at the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. Florida Modifieds getting ready to go. That will be a 35-lap feature, a small field of Florida Modifieds here tonight. Top qualifier earlier was Jerry Simons, the new Smyrna Beach, Florida driver. Pulled the small pill, 3, the invert. We'll start from inside of row number 2, that first row of Timmy Moore, former champion. 2nd place in this year's World Series points, and LJ Grimm alongside, making up that number 2 position. We will be back with more Florida Modifieds. Race number 2 of the night is next. Jimmy Renfrew Jr. continues to celebrate in victory lane as the Florida Modifieds get ready to go for a 35-lap feature. Other events tonight that we will see include the 602 Modified 66-lap feature, their final race of this week, the Super Late Models in a 35-lap feature event, and the Tour Type Modifieds in the John Blewett III Memorial 76-lapper to finish up our night on this cool Wednesday evening from New Smyrna Speedway.
Great way to start the night. A thrilling 35-lap Pro Late Model feature event. A lot of great side-by-side racing. And it has been a knockdown, drag-out battle every night, it seems, between Dawson Sutton and Hunter Wright. Then you add Jimmy Renfrew into the mix. Katie Hettinger has been strong all week long. She's had some bad luck, but she's been really strong all week long. You throw Isabella Robusto in there as well. And any one of those drivers could take a win at any time. Jimmy Renfrew and Dawson Sutton, each with multiple victories. And as you said, Adam, that battle for the World Series championship, I almost guarantee that it's going to come down to the final night. Coming up on Friday, that heart-to-heart 100.
There's a look at some of the Tour Type Modifieds lined up in impound after their qualifying for tonight's big 76-lap event that will end our night of racing action. Pro Late Model event went pretty smooth here this evening. Just 2 cautions late in the going. Talked about the tight battle in points for the Pro Late Models, and the Florida Modified is going to be pretty tight as well. With the smaller fields, it's tough to make up a lot of ground. As we take a look at those point standings for the Florida Modifieds.
It's a little bit of a double-edged sword. You're not going to lose a lot of ground, but you're also not going to be able to make up a lot of ground. LJ Grimm, Adam, he has had a great week. Picked up a win earlier in the week. And Timmy Moore tied for the lead. Tim has been extremely consistent in that 57 car.
He's won a championship in the World Series for the Florida Modifieds before, and he will be in contention again, it looks like, this year, back in that 57 car on a nightly basis here at the World Series. Wayne Parker, I think that's the one we need to watch for. He was really fast in both of the Florida Modified races we've had to this point. Lost on opening night while leading when he had the axle cap issue under caution. And then he came back to win the next time he was on track. So keep an eye on Wayne Parker. He's starting this race from the money spot outside of row number 2 in the 4th position. It's a field made up of veteran racers. Timmy Moore, veteran racer on the pole. LJ Grimm, the winner of night number 1, starting on the outside lane. Track is clear, just waiting on the Florida Modifieds to roll to the racetrack to get us started for our second feature event. This is night 6. We announced earlier, as did the track, right before the start of our racing program, that Saturday's events here at New Smyrna Speedway, because of a terrible weather forecast, have been canceled. But the Orange Blossom 100 has been moved to tomorrow night.
Great call. Yeah, I think that's the right call. Really the only call you could make.
The Super Late Models were scheduled to run tomorrow night, a 35-lapper. The schedule isn't that full. 4 divisions tomorrow night, and it's a great chance to add 65 laps to that event tomorrow night, make it the Orange Blossom 100, and go racing. If
you're in the neighborhood, you want to catch some great short track racing, come and join us. We'd love to have you in the grandstands here at New Smyrna Speedway. If not, you can settle back at home and watch us live right here on FloRacing. Appreciate you joining us each and every night of the now 8 nights of action. Been a great week so far. A lot of great races, a lot of big time winners. We've already seen the likes of Ron Silk and Bubba Pollard win their respective 200-lap feature events. Of course, Ron Silk picking up the win in Saturday night's Wayland Modified Tour 200-lapper. Bubba Pollard out-dueling Ty Majeski last night to win the season opener for the ASA Stars National Tour. We saw Bubba with us a couple of nights earlier in the week, and you had to know that he was just out there building that notebook and making that race car better each and every night. I talked to him before we went on the racetrack the